Yeah. Progress on the MIC. Do it.
Abasibom bio kwa Ibom. Yakbo kono forever. Yakirong nyineba kememo. Afrewe ni seria. Me yamuru aya me kururo. Eterio uba udomino. Remember karanyino. Doy karanyino. Ipo wonto koyen parawo ipa. Baba God, now you be the boss, yeah. I throw a salute to. Thank you for the beautiful things where you do for us. Here in Akwa Ibom. Mata ufoko ni ufaiti. Rongone gune hitakisineta marara. Edukini yesem kiko makara. The Lord is good, very, very handsome. Mama kono frewo. MMU for the you know. Ayakan nangi bonga na banyen. Tukuma na fanyin neta mampasa. Etena murago. Let peace and unity, prosperity be in Akwa Ibom. Abasibom yo Akwa Ibom. Yakbo pono frewo. Yakirong yineba kememo. Yakfrewe ni seria. Me yamuru aya me kururo. Eterio uno udomino. Mememero karanyino. Doy karanyino. Ipo wonto koyen parawo way by san kemeno. San Gemeno, Afrewe San Gemeno, Yagi Top Gemeno, Young Papa of Frewo, Yagiro Bakememo, Memero Caranino, that's you know, we all want to go as we wake up every morning. Step out of our houses for the journey. Better go to follow us. Them wuru people no go see us. Lie. We go count our blessings one by one. We go sing a song, yeah, 2 by 2. We go make a dance, yeah, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, 6 by 6. If the Lord be for us, tell me who can be against us, yeah. This is the promised land. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. Every tongue that rise against us we condemn. Akwa Ibom is on a man, you know. Akwa Ibom is on a man, you know. Basibom is on a man. Yakbo pono frewo. Yakirong yineba kememo. Yakfrewe ni sedia. Ayamuru aya makururo. Eterio uba udomino. Mememero karanyino. Doy karanyino. Ipo wonto koyen parawo way by san kemeno. San kemeno. Yagi san kemeno. Afrewe san kemeno. Mememero karanyino. Mememe pastors nino. Yang bobo na frewo. Yang irong na frewo. Yang fororo irong nino. Yang irong ba kememo. Frewe san kemeno. Yang nyini jop kemeno. Yang foni so yen so irem. Ememu foro erwet nyen kori. Argori ebyon nyen argori esru foni no afrewe san kemene. Progress.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, brother, can you hear me too?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Lovely.
I can hear you.
All right, you're gonna go out. Hey, now. Yeah, I'm set to go. Oh, thank you. And well, it's not our fault. It's the network. We were trying to see how we can sort out our guest network today. It has been very bad. So today, if you join us earlier, you will notice that he was live on the show and the network was not good. But he's still with us, but it's going to be on the phone. So we have him on the phone. He's still going to continue talking to us today. Thank you. Hello, Barrister, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Go ahead, please.
Very nice. Okay, because I think a lot of you must have missed some of the question I asked you and your answer. I was just trying to ask you more, maybe from the beginning, so that you can explain to them. So my first question was that, as a human rights lawyer, you challenge governments, politicians, godfathers in the court, Are you not scared of your life?
My answer is still the same, that the people who should be afraid are politicians and public office holders who are stealing public funds, who are oppressing our people, who are basically turning governance into a private enterprise. I think they are the ones who shouldn't sleep well at night. But for those of us that have taken up the mantle or the responsibility of checkmating the excesses of people in power, we do not have any reason to be afraid, because what inspires us is far stronger and deeper, than the whatever motivation the politicians believe is driving us. Speaking for myself, as someone who is driven by deep convictions, I don't have any reason to be afraid of anybody. The question I always ask myself is, what I am doing, am I doing it out of conviction? Once I am convinced that this is what my conscience detects, I do not worry about life, I do not worry about death, because ultimately, everybody is going to die someday. What counts, as I keep saying, is the legacy of history, the verdict of history. So I'm not bothered about politicians, I'm not bothered about the government.
Okay.
I'm not saying that I'm not mindful of the threats to my life. Of course, I'm a first threat. I've been threatened a couple of times. I've had to make certain adjustments in my life and so on. But those are things that necessarily come with the kind of things that I do.
Okay. I will not, because of time, I won't be able to read one of your posts on Facebook. I think I read it. I read that earlier, and my question was that, because my question was that, have you ever been bribed or given money to, like, attack one side or confront one side?
Well, I did give you an answer that the reason why I can talk the way I do about issues, the reason why I can criticize politicians from different parties, whether at the federal or the state, is because I do not owe loyalty to any godfather. There is no politician alive in Nigeria today that can say that he has me in his pocket, or that can say that he can determine what I write or what I say. The reason why it is so is that I am independent as a private citizen. Nobody sponsors what I do. Nobody feeds me, by the grace of God. As a career person, a professional, I have a source of livelihood. So I do not have to depend on politics or politicians to survive. So nobody can come out to say, oh, that I am under his or her payroll. It's not possible. Because right from the formative stage of my life, I had clearly defined the things I was going to do. I had clearly set out my mission. It is already too late in the day for any politician to insinuate that he can dictate to me what to do or what not to do. Once I am determined to do something, I pursue it with everything in me, and I use my personal resources to do those things. That is the truth of the matter. Whatever you hear that is contrary is just fake news, sponsored by people in government in an attempt to discredit the work that we do.
Okay, Barrister Iniebehe, let me ask you. Some time ago, you protested against Akwa Ibom State building the governor's lodge in Lagos. What was your intention? Are you?
Of course, I'm delighted that I led that protest, and I'm going to lead another one very soon. There is nothing the governor can do about it. All that they did that time was to, hire thugs to attack me. I was physically assaulted in Lagos. The government hired mercenaries all the way from Akwa Ibom to attack me in Lagos. These things were captured on live video. They were captured. If you go on YouTube, you will see the videos where I was attacked. So this is not just some rumor or something. This is something that can be factually confirmed and verified. So what the government did was to try to deploy mercenaries and criminals to attack me. Even when I got into you, they still deployed thugs and cultists to attack me. So when they say they are fighting cultists, I just laugh at them. The people who attacked me in Lagos and Akwa, were they not cultists? Were they not criminals? Who were they working for? So I am not deterred. The reality is this. I am not deterred at all. I am going to lay another protest against the government very soon. This is something that I have devoted my life to do. It's not something that I just woke up and started doing. This is who I have always been, and this is who I will be for the rest of my life. Some people who have a mission have a responsibility to do the things that I do. And for me, I feel this is what destiny has already decided for me, irrespective of my personal view. This is what I was born to do. As long as our people continue to suffer, as long as the government is not serving the interests of our people, as long as politicians continue to use their position to oppress our people, as long as God keeps me alive, I will continue to fight the system with everything that I have. So I have no apology, I have no regret, I have no fear in me, and I've always made it clear. There is no military, no SSS, no police that can be deployed that is going to deter me from the mission that God has sent me to accomplish. And the politicians know that, because I have always told them to their faces that, look, you cannot harass us, you cannot intimidate people. But because we live in a country where people are so timid and fearful, it is easy for the politicians to conclude that everybody is the same. But by the grace of God, some of us have proven them wrong.
Okay. Recently, you took Commissioner for Health to court. What was it for?
No, he was the one who took somebody to court. I am representing the person, a journalist from the state in Akwa Ibom called Kufre Kata.
Okay.
He had him arrested by the SSS, the Nigerian Secret Police, detained him illegally for a long time over a purported audio conversation which the commissioner claimed defended him. But the interesting part is that since the commissioner instigated the charge in court, he has run away. He is nowhere to be found. He has gone into hiding. And we have been challenging him to come out from hiding, that you were the one who instigated this charge. Why have you gone into hiding? As I speak to you, we have been to court twice. The man has not showed up for trial. The last time we went, they sent a letter that they are not ready to prosecute. So, Dr. Iniebehe should come out from hiding. They were asking us to apologize to the governor, and I said no. It is the governor who should apologize to my client for abusing his office, manipulating the state agencies, security agencies to clamp down on an innocent citizen. So what these politicians in Akwa Ibom do is to use their power and their position to oppress our people. And I feel I have a responsibility to stand up against that. So when that charge was filed, the young man happens to be my client, I insisted that on no ground will we apologize to the commissioner or to the governor. And I can confirm to you that since the charge was brought in court, the man has run away. He has refused to come to court. We are still waiting for him to come. He has refused to show up, so ultimately, I will be taking him to court myself. I will not live in a country or in a state where such impunity is allowed to continue unchallenged. People must stand up. They have to be people that should stand up and say, no, you cannot do this. So that is the truth of the matter. The man is nowhere to be found. He has refused to come to court.
Wow, I wonder, but I think last week he was on the radio, was it on radio or on the media talking. So does it mean you don't know, they don't know his office?
No, the commissioner is in hiding. I'm telling you, he has gone into hiding. He has refused to come to court. He has refused to come to court. I've been to court twice. The man has not showed up. From the day the case was filed till date. Even the day the young man was served arraigned in court. We have had like multiple court appearances. He has not shown up for one. All that he wanted to do was to keep the young man in detention. To force him to offer an apology that he's not even entitled to. So whatever he says, if you have access to him, ask him why he's not coming to court. We are still waiting for him. You see, because their plan has always been to infuse fear and timidity into our people. So once they create this atmosphere of fear, they believe nobody will be able to speak up. They believe nobody will be able to ask questions about governance in the state, about how these politicians are siphoning public funds. So when you stand up to them, usually they cannot fight. These are cowardly people, and I have seen it over and over again. Politicians cannot fight you within the law. That is why they have to resort to illegal means to clamp down on innocent citizens. So we are waiting for him. And I hope that he will summon courage to appear in court.
No, it's for what some questions are coming in, and people will say that you're only interested in government cases, that there's a poor young man or woman on the streets who their human right has been abused. That what can you go and assist those ones? That what is the reason you are interested in?
No, but you must realize that first and foremost, I am a private citizen. I did mention to you when we spoke earlier before we had network challenges, that if there is one challenge that I face every day, it is my inability to help as much people as I would love to help. Many of these cases that people read about, that I undertake, I use my personal resources for those cases, like the case of the young man who was arrested by the Commissioner for Health. If I tell you how much I have spent personally for that case, you would not believe me. Because it's a whole lot of money. It's a whole lot of money, I can tell you. The young man has not given me a kobo. So I use my resources to pursue these cases. So there is no way I can assist everybody that needs my help. It's not possible. There is no way. I wish I had the capacity, but it is not possible. Every single day, people reach out to me on Twitter, on Facebook, by phone, and so on, for one case or the other. Even as last night I was sleeping, somebody called me by 1:30 a.m. that is being held in a police station. I'm just an individual. There is no way I can take up all those cases. The resources is not there. So what I do is that I take up the cases that I can. So it is not correct that it's only cases that relate to the government. Most of the cases I'm doing for people, you don't read about it in the media. It is only some cases that the government has a special interest in because of their public interest nature. That is why you even get to read about those cases. There are women who have divorce cases that I'm representing in court without collecting a kobo. Nobody reads about those cases. There are people I have written letters, petitions for, have not collected a kobo. Nobody reads about them. That is the truth of the matter. And I have explained to you the incapacitation in terms of resources. It is very difficult. For example, I practice in Lagos, where my head office is. I have an office in Akwa Ibom. If I have to go to Akwa Ibom to represent somebody in court, I will have to, have the money to pay flights and hotel accommodation. So how many people can I do that for? That is the point. Which is even why I have a smaller office in Uyo with a colleague who works with me. But even at that, you cannot represent everybody that requires. There's no way I can take up every case. It's not possible.
Okay. Well, because of our time, and let us talk about Niger Delta. We are also in Niger Delta, and I believe you must have heard all the news, all the flying news about corruption in Niger Delta. Palliative, billions using for palliative, Wow. What is your view about this as a lawyer?
Well, I would rather give you my take as a Niger Deltan and as a citizen of Nigeria. And my take is that the NDDC, to the best of my knowledge, has basically become a criminal enterprise. And I say that without apology. Over the years, it's not something that just started yesterday. People just believe that the NDDC is an avenue for self-enrichment, which is why some of us are opposed to the division, splitting the country. It's not going to change anything. What I have realized is that the Niger Delta struggle has been monetized by leaders of the Niger Delta. Tragically, the Niger Delta today is underdeveloped, is poor, majorly because of the criminality and irresponsibility of the leaders of the region. Look at our state, Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom today is among the highest revenue earning states in the federation. We have nothing to show for it. Look at our unemployment figure. We are still leading in the country. Our youth have nothing to do. But those who find themselves in positions of responsibility, they siphon public funds, they build houses across the world, they build properties, acquire assets all over the world. People that were never known to have any serious thriving business suddenly get into government and they become billionaires. They build private schools, they build filling stations, fuel stations, they acquire assets, they own estates everywhere. These things are known. But when they want to talk, they'll tell you, oh, it is the outer man that is the problem. Oh, the problem is Nigeria, it's the federal government. Oh, let us have resource control. They keep propagating this fraudulent narrative to deceive our people. The reality is that most of the funds that are through to the region have been stolen by leaders of the region. Whether you are looking at the NDDC or you are looking at the states within the Niger Delta or the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. And to give you my own personal modest estimate, I can tell you that more than 60% of the resources that have accrued to the Niger Delta state and the NDDC from 1999 to date have been stolen. More than 60% cannot be accounted for. So why are you blaming the other man as being responsible for the problems of the region? I don't buy that stupid argument. As far as I'm concerned, the people that have kept our region underdeveloped are the leaders of the region. Look at our governors. They are about the most irresponsible in the country. They have nothing to do. They have nothing to show for the billions that they receive monthly.
But they say that they have a lot of industries in Akwa Ibom State.
It is something is even worse in Akwa Ibom. No accountability. Nobody can speak. Nobody can ask questions. People are basically monetize and privatize the governance of the state. But you know, sometimes when you say these things, they'll say, "Oh, you are rude. You are being disrespectful." But look, respect has to be earned, and I have always made that point. You cannot point a gun at me and ask me to respect you. It is your behavior that will command respect. So what our leaders are doing, as far as I'm concerned, is of wickedness. The poverty that I see in Akwa Ibom is unbelievable. I am telling you. Yet, there is so much money that has come into the state in the last 12 years. Averagely, in the last 12 years. Everybody in the state today is a politician. Why? Because there is no source of livelihood other than politics. As I speak to you, they claim they want to conduct local government elections. But every sincere person knows there will be no local government election. It's just the ruling PDP. They are just now writing names on paper and making the announcement. Governance has totally collapsed in Akwa Ibom. Whether it is the former governor or the present governor, they cannot account for the resources that have come into the state. They cannot. And I have challenged them. I continue to challenge them. As I speak to you, not even one model public school in the state. One, primary or secondary. I mean, one standard public school, you cannot find it anywhere. I have challenged them repeatedly. Nobody has come out to this city. In the whole state, not even one, you cannot point at one public primary or secondary school that is of standard in the entire Akwa Ibom. What have they done with the money?
No, Barrister, I'm asking because they said there's so much industries in Akwa Ibom State now. Does it mean that you are not aware of all this or anyone?
If you can mention the so-called industry, look, the fact that I live in Lagos does not mean I don't know what. I visit Akwa Ibom very regularly. I just came back from Akwa Ibom, a few days ago. I was in the state for about 2 months. I am close to the grassroots. I know what happens in that state. There are no industries. It's just pure political gimmicks they are playing. Ask them to mention the industries that you have 50 people being gainfully employed. And ask them what those people are earning. And because if you say there are industries, it should be to generate employment. Gainful employment.
What about toothpick industry? Coconut industry?
What is
Meter.
toothpick industry? How much is a trailer load of toothpick that we should even... In any case, it is not even owned by the government. It is owned by private individuals. The so-called toothpick industry. But the question is the toothpick industry an industry that can generate reasonable sort of livelihood? The answer is no. So let us even say serious things. Toothpick industry cannot be the industry that government should even be talking about. How much is a trailer load of toothpick or a carton of toothpick that you can sell and make profits to pay people? And you see, what is even more unfortunate is that the current governor has background in the private sector. He came from the banking industry. So people thought, oh, he was coming to clean up Akwa Ibom mess. But the man himself has become a mess. I can give you examples. He has dissipated resources on frivolous projects that he's not even supposed to concede. Look at like going to Lagos to build a lot with over 2 billion. Now he wants to use that, he's proposing to spend 10 billion to build a worship center. He's just throwing money on trivial, irrelevant issues.
But there's this hospital in Itungbang for COVID-19 patients. Don't you think that's...
The claim is a world standard hospital. I've passed to that place. The main road in that community is not even passable. It is only from Buyo that you are coming in. But that Itungbang road is not even passable. I passed through it recently. It's just, they are just hyping this thing, making noise. There is an international isolation center. That is fake news. There is nothing extraordinary about the place. That they even had to go and build a new one. Whereas there is an isolation center in Ikot that they could have revamped. So as far as I'm concerned, these politicians are thriving on the ignorance of our Ibom people. I'm not saying our people are not enlightened, but they have clearly seen how gullible our people can be. That is why they can sell these tissues of life. There is nothing about the Itungbang Isolation Center that is out of this world. There is nothing. I've passed through the place.
Okay.
So
we had MD came NNDC before, which was Nsima Bong Nsima Ekere, and now we have Akwa. So with these people KNDDC in NDDC, I think we're supposed to have a lot of good roads, schools, and hospital, because it's not government that can do everything. Now, if I should ask you, this NDDC, the money they give them or federal government allocate to them, what is it for? What did they ask them to use the money for?
That is why it is called Niger Delta Development Commission. They are supposed to use it for the development of the Niger Delta. But what they are using it for is for development, in quotes, of politicians in the Niger Delta. Projects only exist on paper. Most of the NDDC projects, there are nothing to write them about. That is the one that you can even see traces. That is what, you would have heard that they plan on spending Billions upon billions. They claim they want to pay locals in various communities to identify NDDC projects, which sounds very outrageous to me. That you have to pay people to identify projects that the NDDC purportedly embarked upon. So whether it is Akwa who is there or whoever, it will not make any difference. As far as I'm concerned, it is an insult to the sensibilities of Nigerians to even say that Akwa is coming to clean up the NDDC. He has not cleaned up Akwa. Let us look at his legacy as the governor. All the white elephant projects that he embarked upon, which one did he conclude? From which one? Which one did he conclude? All his measures, apart from roads, few roads that he did, with inflated costs. Mention one significant project that Akwa started and completed as a government, apart from roads. And those roads, go and look at the cost of those roads. So let us not deceive ourselves.
But they always say that Akwa built the flyover, this national stadium, airport.
Flyover. We should celebrate flyover. How many flyovers did he build, even if we are to talk about that? How many did he build in the state? We have challenged them publicly on this issue. Mention the project from the stadium to the Tropicana to the 4 Point by Sheraton Hotel. All these are abandoned projects. They were never completed, even when billions were spent on those projects. Look at the 21st century hospital he claimed that he built. When he had an accident in Abuja, he was flown abroad.
Okay.
So they are just deceiving themselves, not me. The 4 Point by Sheraton Hotel that he commissioned with the current governor. I passed through there recently. Nothing, no single human being, nothing there. No activities going on there because it was never completed.
You know,
what are we talking about? Where is the uncommon transformation? I've not seen it. So when you say these things, because most of our people depend on politics to survive. People don't want to listen to the merits. They don't want to be objective. And you know what he does? He uses tribalism to divide our people. So sometimes when I raise issues like this, they'll say, oh, you are talking because you are a Igbo, you are the man is under. Which is just nonsense. What has tribe got to do with it? But today that is the argument in our Bible. He has divided the state along tribal lines. Akwa didn't do that. Our state is now intoxicated. So you now have this toxic tribal politics in our Bible, courtesy of the former government. It is not supposed to be so.
But during the time, I think I watched one video, and when they were asking him a question, and made mention that most of the contracts in NDC are awarded a lot of. It's like hello.
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah, I think we have a caller.
He said, yeah,
hello,
Barrister.
who is calling and where are you calling from? What's your name?
My name is Ebuka Okafo.
Okay. Where are you calling
Can
from?
you hear me? I'm calling from London here.
Okay.
The barrister said something about the former governor, that he did not complete any project. But I believe Godswill Akpabio completed the stadium, Godswill Akpabio Stadium. I believe he started it and completed it as well.
Where are you from?
Two of us.
I know Ebuka. Where are you from in Nigeria?
I am from Anambra State.
And you happen to know much about a lot of things in Akwa State.
I do visit Akwa Ibom then. I remember. I do go to Akwa Ibom, so I know some things about Akwa Ibom State, yeah.
Okay. I believe Barrister is listening to you.
So, yeah, I asked him a question about the project, the stadium.
Hello, Barrister.
Yes, if you could just summarize what he said. I
Yes,
couldn't
I
get
do.
it from this.
Yes, I do.
Okay, Ebuka, can you say it? Can you repeat your question again to the barrister? He said you should summarize it.
No, I'm not getting it. If you can just say it, let me hear you.
Okay. I think he said that you said Akwa did not completed any projects, and that Akwa completed, is it the stadium? It's a stadium, so.
That is, you see what I'm saying? It is part of the falsehood that is being sold. Go to the stadium, tell him to go there tomorrow. It's not completed. It's not completed. It was not just meant to be a football pitch.
And this is not an Akwa Ibom. I think he said it's from Anambra State.
So he may not know. He's likely one of the Nigerians who are deceived by the lies that are being sold out to the public. That place is not completed till date. It is only the pitch. It was not designed to just be a football pitch. There are other aspects of that project that were in the original design. In fact, I wrote about it. Tell him to Google my name with the name of the stadium. He was going to see an article I wrote some time ago. And I even stated the cost of that project. The details are on the internet. I published an article on that stadium. The opportunity cost.
So now,
international stadium. Tell him to Google it. He will see what I wrote about it.
Okay. Now, for what you were saying is that Akwa Ibom State, or the government of Akwa Ibom State, has not done nothing to the people of Akwa Ibom State. Now, what about the NDDC? Have they done anything?
Because that would just be playing with words. I didn't say nothing. What I'm saying is that what they have done is not commensurate. You cannot compare it with what they have received. If a person is given 10,000 naira to carry out development, and the person uses 1,000 and cannot account for 9,000, you cannot call that development. You cannot say the person has accomplished what he was meant to accomplish. You cannot say it. So my argument has always been on the fact. And the person mentioned the stadium. It has not been completed. The aspects, it is supposed to be an Olympic-sized stadium. It wasn't just supposed to be a football pitch. There are other sports that are supposed to be, that place facility was supposed meant to be used for, which for me, I have said from the beginning, it was not a project that we needed as a state. We did not need to have a new international stadium. Sport is supposed to be a revenue generating thing. We are supposed to go into sport for revenue generation, not just for leisure or for sense of pride. As a state, when our people don't have what to eat, why will you devote billions upon billions to build a stadium? It doesn't make sense. If you pass to the place down, it's even overtaken by weed. Nothing is really serious is happening there. It's only when they have matches. And in any case, how many international matches do we have there in a year? So you see the lack of vision by politicians. Imagine if the money that was used on that place was invested into the state-owned university, or to build model schools in each local government area. Which one would have been more useful? These people do not have vision because they were never interested in the development of our state. That is the truth. So
Okay.
for me, as long as God keeps me alive, I will continue to express my opinion based on what I see. It's not a personal thing. I don't have a personal grievance against the man. I'm only aggrieved as a citizen who has been opportune to know what is going on in this.
Okay, for all that is happening in Niger Delta, because this Niger Delta issue involved us, because we are part of Niger Delta, and we have someone who was the managing director of Niger Delta before, which was Abong Simaikere, and now Minister Senator Akpabio.
No, Simaikere is not a minister.
No, he was an MD.
Yes.
Yeah. So now it's Akpabio, the Senator Akpabio.
His tenure too is being proved. Akpabio has said that clearly.
So, in your own view, will you say that NEDC are corrupt?
If it is not corrupt, what else? What other word will I use to describe the NEDC? It is the same thing with NNPC. All the revenue generating agencies in this country have always been trained in corruption. That is the truth. It is not for them a way of getting their share of the national cake. NDCC has not developed the Niger Delta region. It is meant to be an interventionist agency. But it has failed.
Okay. Now, upon all these things that is happening, do you intend to take them to court?
I'm already in court against the NDDC. I have filed an action against them.
Wow.
And the Akpabio himself, the Minister of Niger Delta, I have an ongoing case at the Federal High Court in Abuja, where I'm already in court against them. As long as I'm alive and God gives me the resources and the capacity, I'll continue to do the little that I can. But there is so much to be done. So it's not about me. All of us, as citizens, as Nigerians, as Niger Delta, and as Akwa Ibom, we have to take active interest, serious interest in what is going on. The politicians have taken us for a ride for too long. They have taken us for a ride for too long. That is why they can look at. For example, in Akwa Ibom, that the governor has to go on official private aircraft. What do we need that for? In a state that people can barely feed, the cost of maintaining the aircraft alone per year is millions upon millions of naira. Akpabio bought it. This current governor came in. I had thought he would sell it and use the money to invest in things that really matter. They are still maintaining the greed and the luxury, the profligacy. And when they want to talk, they pretend as if they are fighting to deceive those who are ignorant. But those of us who know what is going on know that the current governor, Udom, and Akpabio are close. They are working together. They have a common interest. There is no dispute between them because the current governor has gone to court to file cases to even stop investigation of the state finances. I have personally filed several applications for him to open up the books of finances of the state. He has not considered to any. So what are they? What is the fight? Where is the fight? And you look at the other states in the region, Delta, Share Rivers is the same story. Bayelsa, the same story of greed and corruption. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, people don't really hate corruption. They only hate it when the person who is corrupt is not their tribesman or they are not benefiting directly. Most Nigerians don't hate corruption. That is the unfortunate truth.
Anyway, earlier you talked about election, that they were about to conduct election now in Akwa Ibom State. And they have already written the names, just waiting to read out.
They are pretending that they want to conduct local government election by October, which is another avenue to steal public funds. Because as far as I'm concerned, there will be nothing like local government election.
But all these things you're saying, don't you think that the citizens of Akwa Ibom, the people of Akwa Ibom State themselves contributed to all this? Because you will see somebody, they will give just 1,000 naira. They will ask them to go and vote against their conscience. They would collect the money and go and vote. Don't you think that the people of Akwa Ibom State, they also have a role to play?
Absolutely. The citizens have a role to play. Our people are complicit by supporting the government and also by their silence. When I led the protest against the building of the new governor's lodge in Lagos, the people who came to attack me, they were Akwa Ibomites. They were youth, so-called youth, that have decided to be useless, that have decided to waste their destinies for politicians. There were some people who attacked me. those who are supporting them, they are also our people. The same thing, look at it, I mentioned it also the other day. I said Ibori was convicted in UK for stealing public funds. But in the other state, is being seen as a hero. No stigma. It is when people steal phone or steal goods that our people suddenly become hyper and engage in jungle justice. But the real criminals that are stealing the millions and billions, they are being shielded, they are being worshipped by pastors. Look at the problem, for example. Almost all the politicians in the state today hold one religious position or appellation or the other. Deacon, the governor is a deacon, this one is a bishop, evangelist. The whole system has crumbled. Our value system has crumbled at the state, as a region, and as a country. So our citizens have a whole lot to do. Look at what the PDP claims they are doing in Akwa Ibom in the name of primary. Somebody is being asked to spend 750,000 naira to be able to aspire for councillorship tickets of a political party. Is that not criminality? Where do they expect them to get the money from? That is why when they get into that position, they see it as an opportunity for self-enrichment. How can you ask people to spend that amount just to participate in a fraudulent process that those they want to make have already been determined? So this is gone. Nobody challenges it. Our people continue to support it. The last so-called local government election they claimed they did, that produced the current council chairman. The so-called result was announced before, they announced winners even before nobody could even ask what the votes were. Because there will be no local government election, democratically held election. Yes, they want to spend over $1 billion on a fraudulent basis. We cannot continue like this. The Niger Delta people must begin to hold their leaders accountable. The Northerners are not our problem. Actually, it's not our main problem. Our problems are our leaders, our politicians, the rogues in the Niger Delta who have decided to take away the resources of the region. And it is a shame because they are not affected. They are not affected. They are children. I am a product of public school. From primary university to primary, secondary, to tertiary level. I'm a product of public education. But the politicians that our children are schooling abroad, those that our children are even schooling within the country, they are in private schools. Some of them have even beyond schools just for their children to attend like Akwa did. You know, he owns a very big public private school. That is what all of them are doing. So they are not victims of misgovernance. Their children are not suffering what we, the common people, are suffering. Yes, our people have continued to be blinded by tribalism. They use this non-existent partisan divide because at the end of the day, between the PDP and the APC, it's the same people, the same party. There is no difference in the way they are moving and decamping from one to the other. But their people are still allowing themselves to be deceived. What is the PDP government in Akwa Ibom doing differently? What? What is the PDP? Look at the South states as of today. All the 6 states in the South, in South Africa, are being ruled by the PDP. A judge just joined recently. What have they done differently from the APC governor? Nothing. It's the same criminal enterprise. Yet, our people continue to support the politicians. They continue to give them the backing. When you even talk, they will abuse you on social media. We cannot continue like this. That is the truth.
Okay, Barrister, let me ask you, if you are given an opportunity, will you contest for any position in the government office?
I'm not interested. I don't even want to discuss that possibility as of today. There is no persuasion that will make me contest elections or accept an appointment. I don't think I need to be. Some of us within the current system, So for you to even get the ticket of a political party, if you come under the younger parties, they will say you are not serious. I cannot contest election under APC or PDP. So I don't think I need to be in government to make impact. I believe this is the role that God has given me. I'm not interested in appointments. Sometimes when you talk, they'll say, oh, they're looking for what appointment? I'm not interested. I'm not interested in joining any government. I will continue to do what I can as a private citizen. Maybe later in the future, I don't know. Only God knows the future of it. Today, the thought of joining the government is so scary to me. I don't even want to think about it. Because I'm going to be corrupted, I'm going to be compromised. I am not willing, I'm not ready to sacrifice the values that I hold because of the position. It's not possible. It's not possible. I cannot even imagine it.
Okay. And the question I want to ask you, what do you like most about your practice? I think we have a caller on the line, just trying to put the caller on. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Joe Johnson. I'm calling from London.
Okay, Joe Johnson. Do you have a question for the barrister?
Yes, I have a question for the barrister.
Go ahead.
Good evening, my barrister.
Hello, barrister.
Yes, please.
You have a caller on the line. He's trying to talk to you. I don't know if you can hear him.
Well, unfortunately, the way the connection is, I won't be able to hear you. You may have to.
My question there is that I don't know if he's hearing me. My question is there that he said he want to do demonstration in Akwa. He never give us the purpose of the demonstration, or what about the demonstration in Akwa State?
Okay.
And secondly, you did a demonstration in Lagos about the government lodge in Lagos. Does it mean that he doesn't like, or he doesn't like why the government was doing the government lodge in Lagos? Those are my two questions. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Barrister, Joe said that he want to ask you that you were demonstrated against governor or Akwa State government building the governor's lodge in Lagos. Does it mean that he doesn't like it?
That the governor does not like what?
If you don't like it, you don't like the government lodge to be built in Lagos.
Yeah, because it is senseless. It is there's no other way to describe it. It is madness. You are the governor of Akwa State. What business do you have owning an official lodge in Lagos? We have a liaison office, and just for education, public education, we have a liaison office in the state, in Lagos, where I am today, at Victoria Island. Very massive building, which was even where we protested in Lagos before the Akwa Ibom protest. What is the usefulness of the liaison office? That there was now a lodge, different from the liaison office. They said the lodge was old, they did a new one. And you now have to build with billions to now just so I think they go no, they go. So or it's a country of it is madness. These people do not have any country to think. What do you think? And no, they also have that in Abuja. What is the purpose? Because constitutionally a state has territorial demarcation. You are the governor of a particular state. You are required constitutionally to operate and function from that state. You don't have any business legally, morally, and ethically to have a loss in another state. It just does not make sense. This is the kind of absurdity that we see in the state. That is why we are receiving so much, and our people are.
Okay. Joe asked two questions. You just answer one. The second one is, he said you said it earlier in the show that you're going to demonstrate again. and he's asking you, what do you want to demonstrate for?
For, you have these primary school teachers in Akwa who are being owed gratuity for many years. You also have the next of kin of these primary school teachers. I attended the solemn assembly that they held recently, where they even had to pray. Retirees, people who taught in primary school, public school, they had to even resort to prayer. They have protested many times. The other time when they went to protest at the government house, 3 of their members were arrested. I was the one who went all the way from Lagos to defend them and got the charges thrown out in court by the same government. They arrested them for protesting for the entitlement. Till today, the government has not paid them. So I have made it clear that maybe because the protest has been limited to a few cycles of members of that forum, the forum of retired primary school teachers and then so, that maybe we need to make it an Akwa Ibom issue. Because public is not just about them, it affects the tax, it is about education here. So maybe I have made it clear that I'm going to participate in a protest to the government house. So there is nothing, and look, I'm not being rude, there's nothing they can do about it. There's nothing. What is the worst they can do? We've passed through the point where we can be intimidated by power, by politicians. Who just became, unfortunately found themselves in public offices. It is recklessness for politicians to still be living so deep, so large, and people who devoted years. When I attended the social assembly, I saw aged women weeping and crying. Weeping on the floor for entitlement.
Okay, they still need to ask you another question from the caller. Okay, caller, can you go ahead with your question?
Okay, my question there is that you as an human rights activist from Akwa Ibom State, Akpabio was the former governor. He came in and gone. He did all what he did and left the seat. And now Udom is there. You are still accused Udom and accused Akpabio. So what have you done? What have you done? We have EFCC. Have you filed any case against Akpabio or the present government? Thank you. That's my question. That's my third question.
I wish our guests can hear this directly, but I don't know why he's not hearing, but I think the connection is okay. I don't know. Okay, Barrister, for what I've just jotted down from what the caller said, he said you as a human rights lawyer, that Akpabio came and gone, and Udom is here. You are accusing both. Then they now ask you as a human rights activist, what have you done? Have you taken them to court for them to come and give account of all these things you're saying they are misusing?
What else does he expect me to do? I have led protests, I have written letters, I have filed different court cases. I've taken the government to court on many issues. That one is not totally out of the question. But you must realize that I am a private citizen, and there's a limit to what I can do as a citizen. But I've done everything that I'm supposed to do. I've not done enough. I still wish to do more, as long as God gives me the capacity. So it doesn't matter whether I'm opposing every government. I'm opposing every bad government. I think that's the better, proper way to put it. As long as those who occupy public offices are not responsible, are not accountable, I will continue to be in conflict with them. This is an issue that cannot be settled. As long as politicians are not responsible, there will be no meeting point for the purpose of settlement.
Okay, because our time is getting closer, and let me ask you, what do you like most about this your practice?
About who?
What do you like most about your practice? I mean, what you're doing? Because for me, like, people will say, "Oh, you're laying out your life for other people, because you keep on saying you're a private. Nobody's supporting you. So, what do you like most about this?
About who, please?
About your practice, about your job.
Okay. Well, it affords me the opportunity to, be able to champion the causes that I believe in very significant ways. As a lawyer, one, you are opportune to know what the law is. You are opportune to understand the working of the government. You are opportune to know what is lawful and what is unlawful. You are also better suited to, file cases in court against the government, to stand up and represent people who are being oppressed. So I have never regretted becoming a legal practitioner. It is who I've always wanted to be. So I'm very proud of my job.
Apart from protesting against governments and taking its officials or cabinet members to the court.
It's just an aspect of my practice. I'm a private legal practitioner. But we lawyers are not allowed to advertise. The aspect of my job that people get to read about, they are just the public interest related aspects, related cases. But I'm a private legal practitioner, so it's my responsibility to...
Yeah, but all this problem that is happening in Akwa Ibom State, have you one day think of maybe sitting in a round table with the government and talk about things with them and see that how they can resolve some issues?
I've spoken to people in government. People in government also speak with me. Those who want to be... I've always been available to have a conversation. That is the reality, provided that conversation is not going to compromise you. If the government requires my suggestion, it's not as if they don't know the right thing to do. Let us not be mistaken that these things I'm complaining about are happening because politicians don't know what to do. I believe they know what to do. I believe they are just being deliberately wicked. They are being deliberately incompetent. It's not as if they don't know. It's not as if, for example, the government does not know that it does not need a lot in Lagos. It's not as if it does not know that the state does not need a private aircraft for the governor. They know these things. So, but I am not going to be bullied into taking responsibility for the failure of the government, because that is why people are being paid salary, people are receiving allowances in the name of being politicians and public officers. They have a duty to perform. So I don't even have to advise them. It's not my job.
Hello, Barrister. I think we lost him again.
I'm with you.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I know I will soon let you leave you, and I just got two questions more for you. They always say when there are 2 or more people, or 12 out of 12 disciples, Jesus Christ, there was a Judas. Now, how do you react if you find that someone you believe or that work with you betrayed you?
It is something one has to be prepared for every time. But I must also tell you that I'm a very private person. I don't socialize a lot. That also insulates me from external influences. I don't easily, entrust certain things in the hands of people without being guaranteed of the outcome. But at the same time, I take responsibility for the things I do. So, if people betray, betrayal is common. I can't guarantee that people will be supportive of the things that I do. I'm not really interested in the crowd, supporting you.
Okay, before you go, what do you want to say to the people of Akwa Ibom State and the people of the Niger Delta?
My thoughts to Akwa Ibom State.
I think we lost him again. Hello? Yeah, it's like we're about. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, carry on, please.
Yeah, so in conclusion, I'm just saying that our people, Akwa Ibomites and non-Delta fans, should become more responsible, should take interest in governance, in what is going on, and begin to ask questions and stop worshipping politicians who are siphoning the resources of the region and the state. That is my concluding message.
Okay, I think that's all for today. Our Honorable Barrister Iniebehe Effiong. I want to say thank you so much for being on the show, and I hope you join us again next time.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's a man of few words, you know. He doesn't like to talk too much, but he say a lot, you know. Thank you. Oh, wow. It has been interesting, and I want to apologize. I mean, from the beginning, there was a lot of internet disruption. So, I believe, you know, that's Nigerian internet for you. That's how it is. So, you can't blame anybody. Before we go, and I want to say something about the lotto, the Akwa youth in diaspora. They have this lotto on, I think, let me look. I think it's next Sunday. They're having the draw again next Sunday. So they asked me to tell everybody that this lotto is not only for Akwa Ibom people. No. They say it's not only for Akwa Ibom people, it's for everybody. So if you should just go out, and very soon you will see the flyer on the screen so that you can see how it's being done. So you can buy your tickets online, or you can go to the bank and pay for your ticket, and then upload the receipt or proof of payment on the website www.nitoakwibom.org, www.nitoakwibom.org. So you can update your ticket there. Then next Sunday, you make sure you watch the show next Sunday, and make sure your phone is well charged and within your reach. Because if they called you, you don't answer your phone, that means your money don't go with that. So you have to be very vigilant, if I should use that language. Yeah. So okay. That is the lotto flyer on the screen right now. So you can see all the information are there and how you can go about it. So yeah, I think so. I don't know, I think that should be enough. You sure enough? Okay, I'm back there. All right. So I want to say thank you for watching today. And sorry once again, apologize for breaking communication at the beginning of the program. And don't forget to follow our page or subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Akwa Ibom TV. You know, so that you'll be getting new updates, new videos, or maybe if we are live like today, you will get the notification and join the show. You know that. So don't forget to buy your raffle draw. That's what they said I should tell you. It's sponsored by Ndito Akwa youth in diaspora, and this raffle draw is real, is true, it's not fake. I understand. There are a lot of people say, "Oh, it's scam, no, everything online." Blah. Yeah, I understand that. But in every 12 disciples, there was one that was behaving extraordinary. So you might be test first and see. If you don't test food, how can you know the test? So try your best. Buy. You do, apart from the 3 draws prices, I think they have what they call bonus prize or so. You win something, you know. So encourage yourself for that. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining me today on the show, and remember to join me again next week. And I know people have been sending me a lot of feedback, and it's always time, but I will take time to go through all of them, and I'll get time maybe to reply to your messages as well. All right. I'm signing off here now. My name remains Edna, and thank you, and God bless.
Jehovah more, who fit be like you? this kind God, yo, I never see. Not only you fit carry water, put am for basket waka. I don't deny. Baba, oh, I say, who fit be like you? The kind of power where you get, nobody compare. Now you give it for my picking when doctor been talk say she no fit carry belly child. Now you be Baba, now you be Baba, oh, sing it. Hallelujah. Jehovah na regele. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We give you the praises, Jehovah. Jehovah is you, now you be the Baba. Sing it again. Hallelujah. 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 Oh, Jesus, you are worthy. We give you the praise. Jehovah is you, now you be the Baba. Jehovah mo, onye dika gi. Chineke mo, odiri onye dika gi. Na so way your love dey sweet me for body. The things where you give me no be for money. Chukwu idi mma. Chineke mo, nobody fit be like you. Nobody love me like you. Your goodness, mercy cover me every day. Chineke mo, Chineke mo, Chineke mo. Ina samuso.